Hi, everyone. It's Teresa Hegel with ASI, and I'm here to share the news for the day. First up, we have Awala finishing as the fastest growing search term in ASI's ESP product sourcing platform for the second year in a row. Pens and other classic categories continue to dominate the total ESP search rankings throughout 2025, while wellness and seasonal items surged. ESP searches for drinkware brand Stanley slid sharply in 2025, down about 50% for the year, falling below the fast-rising Owala, which surged again as the top-growing ESP search term for the year at plus 60%. Some other trends, seasonal and wellness trends drove big swings. Searches spiked for fans and Halloween, while interest shifted from fidget spinners to broader fidget items and other wellness products like eye masks. And of course, staple categories remain dominant in the top 10 ESP searches, with pens leading the way again. If you check out that story, there's some really great graphics that show all of the top searches, and it's got a whole bunch of great information for everyone. Next up, Simpress subsidiary National Pen appoints Brian Kranick of BuildASign to CEO. This move comes amid a strategic initiative to combine the capabilities of National Pen, BuildASign, and Vistaprint. Longtime CEO Peter Kelly has resigned. So based in Austin, Kranick has spent the past decade at fellow Simpress subsidiary BuildASign, and he'll continue in his current role there while also leading National Pen. And then finally, we have some news. It's not really like a news headline, but I really wanted to highlight it because I think it's a great example of the convergence of print and promo. Last year, Cassie Green and I of Apparelist started a podcast called Branding Together. And we decided this year to kind of highlight this partnership with a special merch collection. The story about this just ran called The Creative Decoration Techniques Behind the Branding Together Podcast Merch Collection. Essentially, we have the partnership between ASI and Printing United Alliance, and we have this monthly podcast called Branding Together. This is a version of the logo. And we basically worked with some suppliers, Stanley Stella and Atlantis Headwear, and we worked with a bunch of awesome decorators, and they came up with a whole bunch of different versions of the podcast logo, which are showcased in the winter issue of Counselor Magazine and online. And then throughout the rest of this month and into next month, Cassie and I are both sharing tutorials of how they created these really cool looks for us. So it's something that I think is really fun and worth checking out. And if you haven't watched our podcast or listened to it yet, I think you should. So that's the news for me.